an old proverb which goes something like this: leopards don't change their spots. So it is with various regimes of the world. This is currently the situation in one of my neighboring countries. When a power withdraws, there's a vacuum, creating a space which allows other powers, in this particular case, other individuals or groups or regimes, to move in order to occupy that vacuum. Within some 48 hours, there have been at least 3 bomb blasts at an airport or on its surrounding in a certain country, which is now confronted with utter darkness, with its inhabitants having no certainty of tomorrow. They are in absolute despair. People are flogging around the airport in order to vacate their own country. This is, of course, not natural. A question we need to ask ourselves: why this is so? Perhaps we already know the answer. Probably we also knew the answer long before such vacuum occurred, or such vacuum of the space was filled by another regime within such a brief period of time. As I already said, the old phrase has its own significance. Leopards do not change their spots. We have no right, we, the global citizens of the world, we, the members of the United Nations organization, we, the fellow neighboring countries' citizens of their neighboring countries, to raise false hopes in them and then letting them behind in utter darkness. We must ensure that those people are helped. Charity begins at home is also a phrase, but at home has to be stable. We cannot simply break a home and then expect the residents of that home to show charity when they are absolutely unable to do so, even to look after their own selves. We, the citizens of the world, we, the members of the United Nations organization, we, the fellow global citizens of their neighboring countries, owe them not merely allegiance, but also an answer based upon our responsibility. We cannot simply say it was a mistake. If we made that mistake, it is our responsibility to mend that mistake. If we create a vacuum, it is our responsibility to ensure that wrongful powers do not occupy that vacuum. We ought not to encourage such occupation of wrongful powers, but rather discourage by doing the right things. We, the neighboring countries, are not weak, but we are often too feeble on our minds. This morning, while visiting a church service, this is of course Sunday, the 29th of August of the Gregorian year 2021, visiting a church service, I remarkably discovered something very hopeful. At the church, or at the cathedral, called St. Paul's Cathedral, here in the city of Calcutta, there is a unit called Cathedral Friend or Friends Service, which is also in sound coexistence with the Diocese of Derby of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. There are groups who are trying to help people who are despairing. I heard witnesses given by many of those who even reached the very brink of a suicidal tendency. But thanks be to our Creator that they were turned back and they have new hopes. If a little group based upon the rules laid down in the Holy Bible, practiced at a certain church or cathedral, can make a change on the minds of so many people, why should we, the world communities, despair and say we are utterly helpless? Can we be justified in so saying? Can we be justified in letting those people of those communities, those countries, even that particular country confronted today with such a devastating and grave situation, can we be justified in letting them down today? A question I ask you, my most beloved, dear and respected friends and viewers of this live telecasting. I feel guilty, being a global citizen, while letting others suffer in this manner. Can you feel better? Thank you for replying to your own selves. I thank you in anticipation for your kind understanding based upon true humanity, while bidding you a very thoughtful evening from my country.